Hi, this is Victor Morganti from FactEngine. Today we'll be looking at some new features in the FEKL uploader, FEKL being the FactEngine Knowledge Language, and the FEKL uploader, the ability to create models using controlled natural language in the Boston conceptual modeling software. We've got a model open in the Model Explorer. It doesn't have any pages, and the new feature we're going to be looking in the FEKL uploader, and let's upload the FEKL uploader, is the ability to add model elements to a page using natural language. So the FEKL uploader uploads the definition of a model in a series of controlled natural language statements to be able to create an object role model in the Boston conceptual modeling software. We can see that we've got the first statement, satellite is a concept. That's going to set up satellite as a general concept without a definition of its object type within Boston, within it in the object role model new model 10. The next line says satellite has one object type, orbit type, written as string fixed length 100. Where we say orbit type written as string fixed length 100, that defines orbit type as a value type, object type within the object role model, and its data type as string or text fixed length 100. We haven't specified the object type of satellite, and the FEKL uploader will automatically create either a value type or an entity type for the general concept that we created in the first line, based on a rule that's set in the configuration of Boston. If we open the Boston configuration and go to modeling, we can see that the natural language API converts general concepts to, and in this case we've said entity type, but we could choose value type. We're going to select entity type. So satellite, because it's a general concept at this stage, will be converted to an entity type. Similarly, for telemetry reading, we set that up as a general concept, and when we say satellite has at most one telemetry reading will be converted into an entity type. Then we're going to use the new features in the FEKL uploader, and that's to create pages and add model elements of an object role model to those pages. So we're creating 3 pages. We say create page satellite, create page orbit, create page satellite fact types. So that'll create 3 pages that appear underneath our model in the Model Explorer. Then we're going to add object types to those pages. In this first line we're saying add object type satellite to page satellite. Now, because we don't have comma and the keyword standalone on that statement, not only will the satellite entity type be added to the page satellite, but also the fact types that relate to satellite, and where those fact types have a role with an internal uniqueness constraint, and the role is joined to satellite, and we'll see that in action. The next line says add object types related to orbit type to the page orbit. Now, when it does that, we've set up orbit type as a value type up here, but we haven't attached any fact types to orbit type where there is a role with an internal uniqueness constraint against orbit type. So we would expect that orbit type sits alone on that page orbit in this row, add object types related to orbit type on the page orbit. The next line, however, add object types related to satellite to the page satellite fact types, will not only add the object type satellite to the page satellite fact types, but also the relation to the object type value type and the fact type relation to telemetry reading. So we should expect to see two fact types on the satellite fact types page, we should see the satellite object type and also the orbit type value type and the object type telemetry reading. We're then going to create another page called standalones, and we're going to add some object to that page standing alone. And we do that by saying add object type satellite to the page standalones, comma, standalone. So we're not adding any fact types related to satellite on that page. Similarly, in the next line we say add object type orbit type to page standalones and have it standing alone. So we're going to add the value type orbit type to the page standalones, and it's going to stand alone. It's not going to have any fact types associated with it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a object type power source as a entity type, where we say power source is an entity type, and it's not added to any page. And we'll see that in the error list in Boston, an error will appear saying that power source isn't associated with any page, and that helps us to understand the object types that we need to get onto a page. So let's hit load into model. And Boston's gone away and created those pages and those object types for us. So let's open the page satellite. Now we were expecting the object type satellite to appear on that page, and two object types, orbit type and telemetry reading, and their associated fact types. Remember, with the page orbit we expected it to stand alone because it has no fact types that have a role associated with it with a internal uniqueness constraint. If we go back to the satellite page, these fact types have a role with an internal uniqueness constraint related to satellite, and so they were included on the page. Similarly, with satellite fact types, we expect the same type of page where we have the object type satellite, the object types telemetry reading and orbit type, and the associated fact types. Now on the standalones page we should see two object types standing alone, so there's no associated fact types there. If we go to the error list and refresh that, we can see three entity types that don't have a reference mode. So power source, satellite and telemetry reading don't have a reference mode, and that's why satellite appears red here. It needs a reference mode. But we also see an error saying model element appears on no page and where the model element is power source. So we could click on that error, go to show in the model dictionary, there's power source. It's shown it in the diagrams by, but we can add it to the standalones page. And remember, with any element entity type in a page in Boston, you can right click on the entity type, add to page the things that are the fact types that are related to that entity type. And we just did that for satellite, and it's added the two associated fact types related to satellite. Power source, of course, has no related fact type, so we can't do that there. So thank you very much for watching. That's the FEKL uploader in Boston with new functionality to be able to create pages and add object types to those pages with fact types related to those objects if you want to, or using the comma standalone clause in a add object type to page statement to make an object type standalone on a page. Thanks again. Hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.